It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and a really bad windstorm has come through. Oh no! Oh my gosh! A tree has hit my sauna. Well, I thought I'd try something different today, guys. I'm gonna actually do a little talking. I haven't made a video where I talk to the camera in a while, and I don't know, just feel like trying something different. So today I'm gonna take you guys along for a day out here at the cabin. Oh boy, probably about time for a haircut, but Louisa cuts my hair, and her and the baby are actually gone this weekend, for those of you who are wondering. Her family lives about 3.5 hours away from here, so it's just me and Norm this weekend, and yeah, good boy. So it's been a particularly weird winter here in Alaska. It's been really, really warm. In fact, it's like 40 degrees right now, which is not common. Normally it's like -20 out here for the really cold months. Yeah, this winter has just been a weird one. Really relatively no snow compared to normal too. It's probably about 1.5 feet on the ground. I used to power my cabin with just this generator. It's a 2,000 watt gas generator. So now what I do is I use this to charge up my EcoFlow power station, which essentially acts as a battery, and it's completely silent, which is probably the best thing about it. You can also charge these with solar and DC. I've got one solar panel, but it doesn't work very well, so I'm planning on expanding my solar empire, but not right now. Cook up some breakfast. Yeah, I'm not really like a big chef or culinary artist or anything, but I do like to cook. Not a lot of restaurants around here, so you got to be able to cook pretty well for yourself. So as you guys can see, the bacon really crusts to the bottom of this pan. And the last thing you want to do is go washing it with dish detergent, because that'll ruin your grease coat on your cast iron and make it so that everything sticks to it again. So I'll show you guys what I do. First, I'll just take this paper towel and kind of try to wipe a lot of the grease and bits of bacon out of there. You just fill it up with a little bit of water. Hot water, cold water, doesn't matter. Just enough to cover the bottom. Then we'll turn on the stove, full blast, and get the water that's in here boiling. And then once it's boiled for a couple minutes, just dump that water out. Scrape it real good. Alright, just kind of rub that oil around, and the next time you use it, it'll all be greased up and ready to go. What's up, Norm? You bored, buddy? You want to get outside and go for a walk? thought so. All right, we can go for a walk. Sun's coming out anyway. All right, Norm, you ready? Let's go. So at the end of the pond here, there's a freshwater spring, and even when it's really, really cold, this area doesn't freeze up hard almost all winter. So I figured I'd film this part just in case I do fall in. Anyway, here we go. All right. Whew, nice day. I cannot believe that this is January right now, which, by the way, Happy New Year, everybody. We are ushering it in with some unusually warm and sunny January weather for up here in Alaska. I'm not complaining. There's years like this. It's happened before. Back in 2014, we had a winter where there's just no snow out here all year. I don't know. It's the way it is. Alright, well I figure while I got my snowshoes on, I'll go ahead and pack down some trails. I don't really like to shovel when the snow is this wet and heavy. So instead I'll just walk all my paths that I go to, like the shed, the bunkhouse, the woodshed, my sauna, outhouse. I'll just go ahead and walk those trails a bunch until they start to pack down, and then when it does get cold again, that'll freeze and set up real nice, and they'll make really firm trails that you can walk on with slippers and you won't get any snow in your shoes. He knows to use the trails, he ain't stupid. I know. All the snow has been icing up on my stairs pretty good. We're gonna have to fix that later. So this is my sauna. It's a wood-fired cedar sauna. I built it a few years ago, and sometimes I feel like a broken record on YouTube saying this stuff because I've already said it in my other videos. But I know there's lots of you who are just seeing this for the first time, so sometimes I like to make sure I cover all my bases. Anyway, it's the sauna, and I think I'll fire it up later. In the bush, people use saunas to wash. You go in there and sweat all the gunk out of you, and then you take nice clean water, scrub down and wash yourself off. And I tell you what, you've never felt cleaner coming out of a sauna wash. So anyway, that'll be on the agenda for later. You can hear the ravens. Screw, screw. Tell you what, it is a beautiful afternoon. All right, guys, I'm going to answer the most asked question on my channel by far is, why is your wood store so far away from your cabin? Why is everything so far away from your cabin? I've got my wood half-mile away. My outhouse is 6 or 7 miles down in the woods over a creek. I'm just kidding, but people ask me all the time why everything is so far away. And I actually want to break that down for you guys today. There's a couple of reasons why things are the way they are. And the first is it's just the logical layout of my land here. So Probably can't tell right now, but in the summer, you can actually get a car all the way up to the property. And the driveway is basically right next to the cabin. So I can pull up from down there and drive all the way up and get up onto the property. So I can't put my wood stash right there because that's the driveway. And I also need to be able to turn the truck around once I'm up here. And so I leave this area open to turn the truck around. And I also don't stack the firewood directly onto the cabin, at least not the main stash. I have a porch stash, as you know. But you don't stack all your firewood on the cabin because that's where mice live, that's where bugs live. It'll also make all the wood behind it start to mold and rot because it doesn't get enough airflow and sunshine to get all the moisture off of it. And the last reason I keep the wood stash over there, it's the south facing, it's where the sun shines. And you want sun on your firewood. If I put it back there behind the cabin, it'd be pretty much in the shade all the time, and that firewood wouldn't get very dry. In fact, it might even mold. And so everything is where it is for a good reason. I like a little bit of exercise, and I have no problem walking over to the woodshed. In fact, I enjoy it. As they say, cutting firewood makes you warm twice. And in this case, it makes me warm 3 or 4 times, so I'm getting the most out of my wood. But anyway, I just wanted to take a second to break that down for you guys. Oh, and lastly, the outhouse. I don't know if you guys can possibly picture why I would want to have the outhouse a little farther away, tucked in the woods. You know, they kind of stink, and privacy is always nice, so just not really sure why you'd want to put an outhouse right in front of your cabin door. But anyway, to each his own. So there you go, guys. That's why it is the way it is. These stairs have got a good coat of ice on them and are getting pretty slippery and sketchy. So I think I'm going to try to get this ice off of here. There we go. Good boy. You got me. Good boy. That's how you fall and hurt yourself. Good boy. So for those of you who don't know, this is Norman. He's my adopted dog. When I met my wife, she had him. He was just a puppy, and we've been best buds ever since. But he's a sled dog. He was definitely bred to run, so he has some Irish setter in him and some other mixes of different breeds, but he's about 75% husky, I think, or maybe 65, something like that. We know that because we had him tested with the doggy DNA genetic testing. And a lot of people tell me he's not a husky, but I promise you he is. He loves to run, he loves to howl. He's just a great dog. He's always by my side. And it's just so much better out here with him. And hard to imagine a day being out here without him, honestly. He's just as much a part of the cabin as anything. And he's my buddy. So that's Norman. The other thing I wanted to mention while I'm talking to the camera today is that Norman is a husky and he's bred for cold weather. In fact, he loves cold weather. He hates it in the summer. Anything above 60 degrees and he's lazy and just looking at me like, oh, make it stop. So in the winter, he's really happy. And on a day like today, I mean, it's above freezing right now. He would be miserable if I put a coat on him. When it is really cold, anything below 10 degrees, so single digits and down, we will put a coat on him. And we put booties on him when it's really cold as well. We take good care of him. We feed him good food. We exercise him. We make sure he's got his needs taken care of. Anyway, just wanted to clarify that. Dinner time, Norm.
What the heck? Oh no!
Uh-oh. Well, this isn't good. I can't believe this. There has been a mouse. There's mouse poop. I remember hearing some scritching and ritching one night, and I just kind of ignored it. I bet that was the mouse. Anyway, man, he's really made a mess back in here. That's a bummer. I'm gonna have to clean this up and keep my eyes out for the mouse. You gotta find that mouse next time. Alright, go ahead. Well, I went to flip on the big Christmas lights that I have around the outside of the cabin, and they're not turning on, so I'm afraid I unplugged them when I was sliding a big ladder underneath there earlier today. Yep, look at that.
No problem, I bet you.
There we go. Easy fix. Well, I'm gonna let this simmer for a while. I'm gonna head out to the sauna and get the wood stove started so that it's hot in there when I'm done with dinner. Need to fix that door. So this is my sauna. It's not finished yet, as you can see. The floor isn't done, but the wood stove works, and it gets nice and hot in here. So it's just on my to-do list, like many things. I'll get to it eventually. Hey, Norm. So the trick with getting a wood stove started and staying hot for a while is to start with a couple of your logs on the bottom. And that way, as the fire's burning, all the embers and stuff fall down into those logs, and it creates a coal bed rather than just burning out and falling down. Bye, Norm. All right, we'll let this fire burn for maybe about an hour. So it's currently just above freezing in here. When I come back, hopefully it'll be closer to 190. All right. Oh yeah. That smells good. Smells like chicken noodle soup. We'll see. It's the first time I've ever made chicken noodle soup, so I'm not sure if it'll be any good, but it smells good, looks good. Tastes like chicken noodle soup. So I have a remote sensor that sits out in the sauna that talks to this thing, and so I can see the temp in the sauna from inside the cabin. And so it's 124 right now and climbing pretty rapidly. I don't think my camera can take it in here. It's over 200 degrees, and it's starting to fog up, so catch you guys in a little bit. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and a really bad windstorm has come through. and it's ripping. I mean, it's ripping really hard out there. And I just heard a big crash, and a huge tree just came down not far in front of the cabin. A big one. Luckily it fell away from my bunkhouse. But it's got me nervous. There's other trees that could fall. And yeah, it's causing a ruckus. It's wanting to rip the tin right up off the roof, it sounds like. Well, last night was crazy. I barely slept. The wind was just blowing so hard all night, and as soon as it would kind of die down for a minute, all of a sudden you'd hear it coming from like a far distance, just like a freight train coming, just, and then smashed the cabin. It was peeling up some of my sheet metal roofing on the front of the porch and knocking trees over. I could hear trees going down. I looked out the window, and there is a couple of big trees down. Anyway, I'm gonna get some coffee going. I don't really want to go out there until the storm's dead, because I don't want to be where there could be falling trees or branches. It does seem to be dying down a little bit, but it seemed like that a couple times, so I'm gonna hang out for a little while and drink some coffee, and we're gonna go out and check out the aftermath of this storm. So check this out. There's my bunkhouse. There's a massive spruce tree right there that went down. Just broke right at the bottom of the stump. That is a very close call. That could have headed the other direction and just totally taken out my bunkhouse. That's nuts. Let's see what it looks like over here. Oh no. A tree has hit my sauna. I don't know if you guys can see, but a big spruce tree fell down is on the roof of my sauna. That doesn't look good. Oh no. And it's not over yet. Man, I'm nervous. Tree just came down back there. You could hear it crack and fall down. I know this doesn't seem like much wind, but for out here, this is a lot of wind. And when an area doesn't get wind for a really long time, what happens is all the trees that have been sitting, that could have fallen with a small breeze, all start falling at once. That banging sound you're hearing is my roof starting to peel off over here on the corner. It's got all the metal screws ripped out of it and it's starting to peel off farther. Might lose that piece of metal. But I'm less worried about that and more worried about one of these trees coming down. It's making me nervous. I know you guys are probably thinking that it's nothing, like it's barely windy, because it's not right now. This has totally died down. I wouldn't be out here if it was like it was last night. I wish I'd gotten better footage, but it was 4 o'clock in the morning. It's still blowing though. This is the tree that fell on the sauna. It's actually a pretty good sized tree, but just the tip of it hit the roof. Man, I can't believe that. Here's another tree right here that came down, also right at the sauna. Just stopped right before it. Wow. I just realized this tree is broken off. This one broke down at the stump and is just hung up in this tree. That's the only reason it hasn't come down yet. I'm gonna move. This is too close for comfort. Wow, look at that. Just broke it clean off the stump. Man. It's a little punky, but it's not super rotten. I'm so glad that this broke this way. It could have just easily gone that way. I mean, that is a good sized tree. Well, I don't think there's really much I can do for right now besides just hunker down. I just got a report that the roads getting out of here back to the main road have trees down on them and they're impassable right now. So I'm actually going to be basically stuck here for a little while. I might get my chainsaw out and see if I can go help clear some trees and get things open again. But I've got enough food for a good while, at least a few days to a week. So anyway, I'm just going to hunker down and wait for this thing to pass. Well, it seems like a pretty solid chance I'm gonna be getting the chainsaw out today. So figure I'll make some breakfast and actually get fueled up. Seeing about getting that tree off of my sauna. Myself a Christmas tree. Oh, so lucky. That could have been so much worse. Hey, no eating moose poop, no. Norm's over there eating moose poop. Gross. You little poop eater. He's not normally a poop eater, but moose poop tastes extra good to dogs. It's mostly just wood anyway. Well, the winds seem like they've died down a good bit, so I'm gonna take Norm up in this little patch of woods and go look at some of the damage. I think it's good to go now. It's really getting pretty calm, and I haven't heard a big gust in over an hour, so. So this is that spot that just yesterday I was telling you can be a little tricky to cross because it can get warm and punch through, and now look at it. You can tell it's definitely really thin, rotten ice right there. Oh, it's slippery too. Oh, I don't know. That looks pretty frickin' rotten. Whew, made it. Look at the size of this one that's down. Stay close, Norm. Stay close. Look at the size of that. just broke it right off the stump. Like I was saying, these dead spruce trees, they're dangerous. They definitely a fire danger, but certainly a fall hazard. So I think I might have to get out there and cut even more of them off the property this year. There's some of them that I like as just scenic, you know, it's just nice having trees or in certain spots that I really like. Other ones I didn't mind cutting, but the danger that they pose going forward with fire and falling is imminent, let's put it that way. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. So, well, it's about 3 o'clock now, and I don't know if the winds are going to pick back up or what's coming next. I haven't really looked at the weather. I've just been sort of taking it as it comes. So I'm going to go check that out here in a minute, but I figured I need to restock my kindling and the inside firewood stash anyway. So I'm going to use this nice, beautiful post-storm blue skies that I've got to get some work done. So what I'm going to do is use my axe to chop up some of these spruce chunks into smaller pieces and then take them over to my kindling splitter and make them into actual kindling. I used to make all my kindling with my axe, but ever since I got that splitter, I much prefer that. It's safer. When I'm going to make kindling, I look for chunks of wood with a nice straight grain and no knots in them like these ones. So that way it splits nice and easy. Those knots don't want to split for kindling. What I'm trying to make is these thin, flat pieces. These are really good. Once I get on the splitter, you'll see how much these shape up really nicely. This one could use one more split. Just like that. A lot of you guys critique my stump for wood splitting, saying that it's too high, and you're right. In the summer it is too high, but in the winter it's just right. That's what you don't consider, is that I've got a few feet of snow coming in, and all of a sudden my splitting stump is completely buried if it's too low in the summer. Well, Norm says that it's time to stock the indoor fire stash as well, because it's looking pretty skinny. So I keep 3 types of firewood out here these days. I keep spruce, birch, and now I have aspen. And if you guys watched my building videos from a couple summers ago, I had to take out an aspen tree or 2 in order to make room for the bunkhouse. But since I bucked it up and brought it down, I figured I'd burn it. So it's been drying for about 2 years, and I'm excited to see how it burns in the wood stove. But you can tell the birch because it has this white papery bark on the outside, and the spruce has more of just a standard dark pine looking bark, and then the aspen has kind of a more gray look to it. This is the aspen. I have to admit it smells a little funny. I'm not used to that, but hopefully it'll be good wood. We'll see. I love wearing wool while I'm out in the woods, but it does have a tendency to collect more debris than it needs to. Alright guys, well last thing I want to say is that if you like the music in my videos, remember that it's all original music. Me and my friend Forrest Wilson, we write the songs, we record the songs, and they're available for download on my website at alaskacabinadventures.com. Head over to the music tab, we've got a Christmas album and then 2 soundtrack albums. You can put them onto iTunes or Spotify or your phone or whatever you want to do after you get them downloaded on your computer. So that's a really great way to support the channel. I also have merch with Norm's face on it. We got What Would Norman Do stickers and t-shirts and cabin duffel bags, Alaska Cabin Adventures t-shirts and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in any of that or just want to support the channel, head over to my website. I also have a virtual tip jar on there if you guys are feeling generous. So anyway guys, I think me and Norman are going to call it a night, and let me know in the comments how you like this video. I know some of you probably won't like it, and maybe some of you will, but let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see y'all in the next episode of Alaska Cabin Adventures.